Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. I'm sorry if this is getting repetitive, but please go check out my new shorts channel. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it. The link is in the description. And now let's get started with the story. This post is from the subreddit Relationships, and it's by user Deleted. I, 26 female, tried to set boundaries with my brother's 28 girlfriend, 23 female. I think it went badly. My brother moved in with my significant other, 26 male, and me about 4 months ago. He wanted to relocate to a new city after some hard times, so I talked it through with my significant other, who was really great about it, and agreed that we should help my brother get started and settle into this new city. We share the rent and bills equally now, but in the first 3 months, my significant other and I covered half of his portion of bills and rent. Everything was good in the beginning. I helped him find a job. I'm in recruiting, so I knew some openings at companies where I have connections, and things were falling into place. Just a few weeks after moving in, my brother met a girl who he clicked with, and they became official a few days after. Kind of fast, but not my business what two adults do. They seemed happy, and it's the first time he's had a serious significant other in years, so good for him. She's a nice person, and I like her enough. However, over the past few months, she has begun to spend way too much time at our house. I mean, she will stay all day and night, 4+ to a week at a time. She will stay in our house and hang out in pajamas when the rest of us have gone to work for the day. She is off work right now for health reasons, on disability. When my brother is working nights or mornings, she will also stay in our house and wait there for him to get home, all day. My significant other and I get home from work at around the same time, 5 p.m., and we often find her posted up in our living room in pajamas watching TV when we get home. Meanwhile, my brother won't be home until midnight. We do not see why she feels the need to do this. This is my significant other's and my only issue with this arrangement. We do not want anyone in our house when we are not home, not including my brother, obviously, because he lives here and pays rent. It is absolutely not a personal thing. Everything in our house belongs to us, from pots and pans to expensive electronics to even the bed my brother sleeps on. We also would like her not to hang out in our house when my brother is not home, and we are. This happens frequently because my brother work swings shifts every week. She has her own apartment in the city, so I feel that rather than spending the day alone in our house and perusing our things, she would wait at her own apartment and come over 2 hours after if she wants to hang out. My significant other and I need our privacy too, and we don't get that when she is always waiting in our house for my brother to finish work. I find it awkward and imposing. I have no problem with her coming over to hang out, but I'm not okay with having her use our house as a free hotel. Some other issues that have occurred are that she has used mine and my significant other's food to make meals, and she also stays up really late, so when the rest of us have gone to bed because we have work and responsibilities, she is constantly going in and out of the house to smoke, going up and down the stairs, doing whatever she is doing while the rest of us are sleeping. I spoke to my brother about this issue a few months ago when it first started happening. It stopped for a few weeks, but now it has returned to the way it was before. He actually expressed to me that he does not want her over as much either, but he is extremely passive, the most passive person I have ever met, and I highly doubt he has ever told her this. If he has, she ignored it, but I will give her the benefit of the doubt. So yesterday morning was the 3rd day in a row she spent the night, on this one occasion. I'm getting so tired of this, and so is my significant other. My brother is working mornings, so he, me, and my significant other leave early. I heard him leave and I heard his girlfriend moving things around in our kitchen. Keep in mind, this is at like 5:30 a.m. Totally unnecessary time for her to be rearranging things in our kitchen. I decided once I got ready for work, I would go downstairs and talk to her, politely of course, because enough is enough and I wanted to tell her how we have been feeling. Unfortunately, while I was in the shower, she must have gone back into my brother's room to sleep, because she was not hanging out in the kitchen when I went downstairs and his bedroom door was closed with the light off. When I got to work, I sent her a text asking her if she would mind hanging out at her own apartment when no one is home at our house. I explained that my significant other and I do not want this to be an ongoing dynamic at our house and that it is not personal whatsoever. that we would feel this way about anyone being in our home while we are out. I told her that we like her a lot, but we also need our privacy as a couple and alone time when my brother is out of the house. So I reiterated that when he is not home, that we do expect her to use her own apartment, but that she is more than welcome to come over when my brother is here. I ended the text with, I think the four of us should sit down and come to some sort of reasonable compromise so that everyone is happy. Long story short, she did not reply to my text, which I sent yesterday morning, so it's been a full 24 hours. My brother also ignored me and walked out of the room last night when I tried to ask him how his day was, so obviously they are both annoyed and do not agree with my and my significant other's position. I refuse to back down on my request because it is an extremely reasonable request, and I was polite and asked for us to have an adult conversation about it. I guess this is what I get for honesty. I don't know how to move forward with this. Have I done anything wrong? I actually thought I was being pretty fair. OP, you are being more than fair, and actually I think you're a bit passive as well. This is something that you should have nipped in the bud a long time ago. First off, what is up with your brother? Is he an adult? Just giving you the cold shoulder or silent treatment because you said something that he didn't like? And what about his girlfriend? Hasn't she ever heard the phrase overstaying your welcome? Maybe she thinks it's a good thing, I don't know. OP, you can't let this pass. You need to go to your brother and talk to him. That is your house. I don't know if his name is on the lease or not, but it is your and your significant other's house, and you were doing him a favor. Maybe it's time that your brother starts looking for his own place now. Now, when you do get to talk about this, the one thing I wouldn't say is she doesn't pay rent so she shouldn't be here, because then the conversation might turn into, hey, let's everybody share in this place so she doesn't have to pay for an apartment by herself. And you definitely don't want that. Anyways, OP, you shouldn't be waiting. You should just go to your brother and tell him, make things happen. And if he's too passive to say anything to his girlfriend, then he needs to be active in looking for another place to live. What do you guys think, or what would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Dragonflies Love Me says, you give an inch, they take a mile. Why can't your brother go live in her apartment? But anyway, I completely agree with you, and I think it's weird that she would even want to hang out in other people's apartments all day. I cannot even imagine treating other people and their space and their objects like that. It's hugely disrespectful and entitled. Your brother owes you the courtesy of at least talking to you about this. I really think he needs to lay down the law with her, but he should at least not be ignoring you. It's because of him that she's there in the first place. Here you were nice enough to help him out, and his girlfriend is giving you no privacy whatsoever nor chipping in financially. He should go stay with her, or they should get their own place together. Then, in a few months, he can make his own post here about how he is so passive and his girlfriend calls all the shots in their relationship. No Other Red says, oh, the joys of sharing a house with family as adult. Zany face. Your request and how you handled it was reasonable. Perhaps a text wasn't the best medium, but it's certainly not the worst, and in this day and age, probably not unacceptable. I ultimately feel this lands at your brother's feet. If and when he talks to you about this, bring up that you had hoped he could handle it, but since he couldn't, you had to step in. He's the one that needs to tell his girlfriend that she needs to not be there when he's not there. It's not his house anyway. I don't really know a solution to the immediate problem, silent treatment. But if the problem persists, perhaps broach the topic of increasing his rent to compensate for the fact his girlfriend is living there too? That, or explain to him that perhaps your ideas of living arrangements differ too much and perhaps he should consider moving in with his girlfriend? Fountainhead says, your brother needs to grow a spine and enforce with his girlfriend some boundaries. You are the landlord, he is the tenant, and she is the tenant's guest. You shouldn't have to speak to her directly at all. Now that your brother has gotten on his feet and is firmly taking advantage of your hospitality, you need to enforce boundaries with him, not her. Write a tenancy agreement and have a house meeting with you, your significant other, and your brother only. His girlfriend has no right at all. In it, make sure you include things such as no overnight guests more than 3+ nights in a row unless agreed to in advance, and no guest to be present in the house while the tenant, your brother, is not present. Tell your tenant, brother, that breaking the rules will result in an eviction. I don't know what kind of world your brother and his girlfriend live in where a non-paying person can bum around someone's house like that. Ugh. Alright, well, we've got some pretty decent advice from the community, all headed in one direction. Brother needs to do something about this. Now, unfortunately, OP did not reply to any comments, so there isn't any additional context I can give you guys at this point. So we just need to move on to the update and see how this story ends. Thank you to everyone who replied. I was not expecting more than a few comments on my thread. Never mind hundreds. I did not reply to comments in the original thread because nothing was really happening with the situation at the time. So what did happen? I sent the text on Monday morning, and by Friday morning I still hadn't heard a word of response from my brother or his girlfriend, who I'm going to refer to as C in this post. She didn't come over this week at all, but my brother was home a number of times and stayed holed up in his room, seemingly avoiding my significant other and me. He can be easily angered, and I know from growing up with him that it's best to leave him be until he comes around on his own terms. I did text him a few times throughout the week to check on his general well-being, but he didn't respond. Normally, we text back and forth multiple times daily, so I knew that he was intentionally ignoring me. By Friday afternoon, I was starting to get concerned and frankly a little annoyed. I mean, I understand if my brother and C don't agree with me, but at least acknowledge me. Even a K would have been a better response than nothing at this point. My significant other and I felt a definite air of awkwardness in our house this week, as we knew that my brother was home but was staying in his room as to not see or talk to us. We decided this has to end, or my brother can find somewhere else to live. We are not going to walk on eggshells in our own house, especially when we don't even need a third person in the house. We can afford to live in our own just fine. So while at work on Friday afternoon, I texted my brother saying, "Can we talk later? I'm worried I haven't heard from you. If you're mad at me because of what I said to C, I understand, but please know it was not my intention to hurt anyone or cause drama. We need to figure this out." He responded by saying that we could talk when I get home from work. Our conversation went better than I expected. My brother started off by saying, "I'm angry, but I'm not angry for the reasons you think I am." So apparently, on the morning that I sent the text, C was sleeping in our house while everyone was at work, of course, and didn't read my text until around noon when she got out of bed. According to my brother, she freaked out after reading my text, called him a bunch of times while he was working, then showed up at his work sobbing. He had to leave work to calm C down because she was hyperventilating in the parking lot and couldn't stop crying and was making a scene. People were actually watching them. My brother said he has spent all week doing damage control because C is so upset and will not stop bringing it up. She has not been eating or sleeping and is very weepy. He explained C has had a very hard and rough life and that she is pretty much unable to deal with any form of criticism or negative feedback. So at this point, I feel like a real a-hole, and I explained that I in no way anticipated that C would have an emotional meltdown because of my request. This is literally the worst possible scenario that could have happened. I asked if there was anything I could do to help remedy the situation, and my brother said, "No, please don't say anything to her. She doesn't want to talk to you again, and she doesn't want to come over here ever again." Okay, fine with me. Anyways, my brother and I hugged it out and called it a day. He understands my point of view and he agreed with me on all fronts, but he is annoyed that he has to deal with this odd overreaction by C, though he is not going to end things with her over it. I don't really know how to feel about this. On the one hand, I do feel like a jerk because of her reaction, but on the other hand, I think she seriously overreacted and that she may even be using manipulative tactics to make it seem like I did something horrible to her. Sure, I think my ego would be a little bruised if someone had to ask me to spend a little less time at their house, but then again, no one would have to ask me that because I have common sense. So, in summary, my brother is not mad at me. His girlfriend does not want to speak to me ever again or come around ever again. My significant other and I had the whole house to ourselves this weekend, the first time in months. So yeah, it went really bad, but it also went really good. Time to move on with my life. Thank you all again for your comments and input. Well, OP, I'm gonna count this as a positive update because your problem was solved. Your brother's problem is a very different one. I don't know if his girlfriend is getting help for what ails her, but I definitely think she needs it. Anyways, I'm not gonna dive into that one right now. We're just now gonna move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge, and it's by user FunDepartment2570. I broke up with my girlfriend over earpods today. It was awesome! My girlfriend, female 22, and I, male 25, had been dating for almost a year now. She is in university, living in the university residence. I work full-time and have my own place. Her residence has some very strict rules, such as no male guests aside from parents and a strict curfew. This will be important later. We're not in the US, by the way. Before the Easter holidays, a few friends and I planned a road trip. I invited her, but she declined. The day before my road trip, I decided to get some new earbuds for the trip. My girlfriend came with me to the shop. Once there, my girlfriend decided that she would like a pair of AirPods. I relented and bought her a pair and got myself some Bose earbuds, since I preferred those and I do not have an iPhone. On the way back to the university, she mentioned that she liked my earbuds since they looked better than her AirPods. She took them, paired them to her phone, and started playing around with them. I didn't think much of it until she said she wanted them and wanted to trade her AirPods with my earbuds. I told her no because I didn't have an iPhone, so AirPods would be useless to me. Found out later that they do work pretty well on Android. And that we can exchange hers when I get back, since going back now would make her late for curfew. She kept insisting, saying that it would make her happy. I told her I needed them for my trip in the morning, which seemed to be the end of it. We got to her residence, and as I was parking, she threw her AirPods at me and said, "Thanks for the trade," and jumped out of the moving car, still wearing my earbuds. I was shocked, and it took me a second to realize that she had just run away with my earbuds. I parked and then ran after her, but I wasn't fast enough. She had already entered the building. I stood at the entrance with two very burly guards giving me the stink eye while I shouted for her to come back. She just blew me a kiss and went upstairs. I shouted a bit more until the guards very politely asked me to leave. I was livid. She had just robbed me, and there was nothing I could do. I stalked back to my car fuming and cursing. However, I started laughing when I got to my car because there on the ground near the passenger side door was a lovely white box. It seemed in her mad dash to run away she had accidentally dropped the charging case. I picked it up, my day was suddenly brighter, and drove back to the shop. I exchanged the AirPods and got new earbuds, then blocked her, and the next morning went for my road trip. I unblocked her when I got back yesterday, ready to deal with the crap storm, and called her. At first, she was sweet and asked about my trip. Then, she asked if she had left the charging case for her earbuds in my car. I told her that I had returned the AirPods and exchanged them for new earbuds, and that since my new earbuds didn't work with my old charging case, I had thrown it away because I didn't need it. That triggered her, and she started shouting at me, calling me an a-hole, and demanding that I get her a new pair of earbuds or we're done. I said, "Okay, guess we're done," then hung up, and I've been laughing ever since. Well done, OP, a total win for you, except for the fact that you did pay for an original pair of earbuds that you had to kind of throw away. But I guess that's the sunken cost you paid for dating a spoiled and entitled brat? Regardless, good for you, OP, well done. Thanks for sharing. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe, or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.